But you may as well get used to it, Bree. You've got the part for a month's run. She transferred a large gray-striped cat from Sabrina's lap to her own, offered Sabrina a steaming cup, and sat on the rug. Has Shylock been keeping you company? He's a terrible snob. With a wry smile, Sabrina sipped at her tea. He did graciously allow me to scratch his ears. I have to admit I'm glad you brought him with you. He's my biggest entertainment. She sighed and lay back against the pillows, regarding her sister seriously. I'm ashamed to be lying here feeling sorry for myself. I'm lucky. She rested her hand on her stomach in a protective gesture. I shall have my baby, and I sit here moaning about your waiting on me. You're entitled to moan a bit, Bree, said Samantha, immediately sympathetic. You're used to being active and busy. I've no right to complain. You gave up your job and left home to come out here and take care of me. Another deep sigh escaped, and her gray eyes were dangerously moist. If Dan had told me what you were planning to do, I would never have allowed it. You couldn't have stopped me. Samantha attempted to lighten the mood. That's what older sisters are for. You never forget those 7 minutes, do you? Sabrina's eyes cleared, and a reluctant smile curved her generous mouth. Nope, it gives me seniority. But your job, Sam. Don't worry. Samantha made another dismissive gesture. I'll get another job in the fall. There's more than one high school in the country, and they all have gym teachers. Besides, I needed a vacation. Vacation? Sabrina exclaimed. Cleaning, cooking, caring for an invalid. You call that a vacation? My dear Sabrina, have you ever tried to teach an overweight, totally uncoordinated teenager the intricacies of the parallel bars? Well, the stories I could tell you about vacations. Sam, what a pair we are. You with your teenagers and me with my pre-adolescent Mozarts. Lord knows how many times I cleaned peanut butter off the keys of that old Wurlitzer before Dan came along and took me away from scales and infant prodigies. Do you think Mom expected us to come to this when she dragged us to all those lessons? But we're well-rounded. Samantha's grin was faintly wicked. Aren't you grateful? She always told us we'd be grateful one day for the ballet and the piano lessons, the voice lessons and the writing lessons, Sabrina continued, ticking them off on her fingers. Gymnastics and swimming lessons, Sabrina concluded with a giggle. Poor Mom. Samantha shifted Shylock to a more comfortable position. I think she expected one of us to marry the president, and she wanted us to be prepared. We shouldn't make fun. Sabrina wiped her eyes with a tissue. The lessons did give us our living. True, and I can still whip up a mean spinach souffle. Ugh, Sabrina grimaced, and Samantha lifted her brows. Exactly. You have your medals, Sabrina reminded her. Her smile warmed with pride and a trace of awe. Yes, I have the medals and the memories. Sometimes it feels like yesterday instead of nearly 10 years ago. Sabrina smiled. I can still remember my terrified excitement when you first swung onto the uneven bars. Even though I'd watched the routine countless times, I couldn't quite believe it was you. When they put that first Olympic medal around your neck, it was one of the happiest moments of my life. I remember thinking just before that competition, after I'd botched the balance beam so badly, that I couldn't do it. My legs felt like petroleum jelly, and I was mortally afraid I was going to be sick and disgrace myself. Then I saw Mom in the stands, and it ran through my mind how much she had sacrificed. Not the money, the bending of those rather strange values of hers to allow me those years of training and those few heady moments of competition. I had to prove it was justified. I had to pay her back with something, even though I knew she'd never be able to say she was proud of me. You proved it was justified. Sabrina gave her twin a soft smile. Even if you hadn't won on the bars and the floor exercises, you'd proved it just by being there. And she was proud of you, even if she didn't say it. You've always understood. So get over the idea I'm doing you a favor coming here. I want to be here. I belong.